How's it going out there, Wildcat parents? Welcome to Mr. Fisher's math class. Some of you have introduced yourself, and I've spoken to you. Others, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you or speaking with you yet, but I do have a lot of information to cover, so I'm going to kind of get right to it. So I'm going to pop off screen here, walk you through the basics of class. And then before I start, I'd like to show you a link on the kids' homepage. So I'm going to pop off screen here. If I could go to, so every student has this as their math homepage. So if I confuse you, I moved too quick, I didn't cover everything that you had questions about, I've left a little link here on the kids' homepage. It literally says Curriculum Night Parent Question Form. If you could just click that, you would put your first, last name, and then fill out the form. It has all types of spaces where you can ask me questions, you can add in things. There's all kinds of cool tools there. So if you need to reach out, I'll be looking through that and then trying to reach back out and answer those questions for parents. But so basically the kids are, those kids, we'll start off with homeroom. I have about a third of your kids in my homeroom class. So my first block, guys and girls. Our homeroom class is basically a check-in class where we're doing social emotional learning. So we're doing types of greetings, establishing norms, going over rules and procedures, and figuring out how to greet and speak to other humans, and how to be a good student. So, and also how to be a good, well-rounded human being. So we're really trying to not only make the kids better themselves, we're trying to make the classroom as a whole better itself, and then we're trying to really get that flow and that social emotional piece going all throughout the school, where Crestdale Middle just takes off, and because it becomes its own animal. So it's a really cool program. I got an awesome group of kids. So if you're my first block, you can kind of pat yourself on the back, show off in front of mom and dad a little bit. I got really lucky having that group. I got some talkers in there, which makes the class really fun, and I got some creative kids, and it's been a blast. So hopefully the kids in first period or first block homeroom have been having a good time in there. But we'll be doing different activities all throughout the year, showing videos, having discussions, just really trying to mold the kid, not the student, but the human being versus the student. My guys and girls, everybody that's on the video has me for math class. So this would be their homepage from my math class. And this is where all the information they would need in order to be successful to my class would be. So basically a snapshot of what we are going to go through this year is in our textbook. And if the kids still don't know where the textbook is, it's found on my homepage at the very bottom here. It says open up textbook, and it's been there all year. It will be there for the rest of the year, and we're hopefully getting the kids a physical copy that they can take home here soon, but that hasn't come to us just yet. But it's online. It's no different. So they do have access to this. We're in Unit 1, but these are all the topics. And just for time's sake, I'll go ahead and let the kids show you what we're going to be covering. First quarter would primarily be Unit 1 and Unit 2. Unit 3 and 4 is second quarter. Unit 5 and 6 is third quarter. Unit 7 and 8 would be fourth quarter. And then we kind of wrap things up right before the state test and send them on to seventh grade. Back to the class here. On a daily basis, the kids would come to class. I've asked them to I've been practicing this big time for the past 2 weeks because a lot of kids are just jumping in. They get on Zoom and they wait for me to give them directions. What I prefer they do is they get in class, they read while they're waiting to get into Zoom, because they do have a 10-minute transition from class to class. I'd like them to start reading through this, get a snapshot of what am I doing today. It's in black and white, tells them here's the first 10 minutes, here's the second 32 minutes, the last part of class, and then I would send you on to your next block. I'm trying to give them reminders down here and some reminders up top at the end of the week, just like little checklists of where their what work is due, did I miss any quizzes, things like this. For kids that are absent, you might be having computer problems. Maybe they just couldn't make it to class that day, or Zoom was giving them a headache. We've had some tech issues. I'm saving all these. So this would be an example of September 14th, Monday. But if they go to pages up on top, and I've showed the kids how to do this almost daily, and then they go to this view all pages, it's basically a snapshot of what we've done for the entire year. So here's all my September, here's August. I'm just going to go to September 2nd for just to show you what it looks like. So if I was absent September 2nd, I needed to study, I was struggling, here's all the reminders Mr. Fischer gave me. We used the whiteboard app that day. This is an important piece. If the kids are struggling in class, maybe I'm moving too fast, or they're shy and they don't want to raise their hand, or they don't want to notify me virtually, I'm pre-recording all my stuff through that lesson on video. So I'm actually trying to post this to the site so that the kids have an additional resource, because I know it's tough not having the teacher in class, but I do walk the kids through the lesson each day, This is actually me recording myself doing the video. Some of the modules are a little bit simpler, where I don't feel that that's necessary, but I still post videos. I'll post some type of YouTube video or link from like Khan Academy, some type of resource that they can access. They also have a ton of resources in the modules themselves. So when the kid comes to class, this is a basic snapshot of what we would do each and every day. So on Monday of this week, which is the 14th, on the directions said we're going to be doing unit 13 here. So hopefully this boots up. Sorry, guys. The computer's a little slow. But just to show you a snapshot of what an average day for the kids looks like. These are part of their grades as well. So if you look in Power School, I'll show you guys that in a second, how to access all the apps. But this is basically the learning that the kids are walking through. So if they're saying modules to you, or if you keep on hearing modules, that's basically the teaching in class. So I'd scroll down to the 13th. They have all these accessible to them. So if they need to go back and study, these don't like disappear or anything. They're going to stay up all year. We would get into the warm-up. And I'm not going to have time to show you each and every piece, but I'd like the kids to hopefully walk you through and kind of show you. These are called Desmos, the Desmos activity, which is like an online interactive math program. So currently we're doing like surface area, so it gives the kids like blocks and they can stack these cubes into formations and find the surface area. It's really cool stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of the kids aren't completing these. They're not participating. They're not. So in this case, we'd work through the module, and then after that, the kids would answer questions about the little part of the Desmos. So which image did you not select examples of your polyhedra? Why were those not examples of polyhedra? So here's some sentence starters. They would reply, and then they're supposed to reply to classmates. So this is like a discussion board. So instead of just doing the math once, they're actually thinking through the math, and then they have to explain it and reply to other students. So the this open up resource, this open up textbook that we're using, is challenging, but it's really getting the kids to truly understand the math versus like when I was in school, I would just get a worksheet. I would just, get through the worksheet, do 1 through 10, and then submit that. In this case, the kids are really, they're diving down deep and really tearing the math up, interacting with each other, talking about the math, then doing the problems at the end, and then moving on to the next section. So it is a pretty cool program. In order for them to get credit, full credit, a lot of them are just doing little pieces, and it shows me all this in a certain little app that I have, and I can see how they've progressed through the unit. A lot of them are only doing little bits and pieces or not doing it at all. They have to complete these pieces in order to get grades for that day. And I do these with the kids. We literally walk through these as a group, and then some of these parts would be done asynchronously, where they're doing them on their own. If they need help with those, they can always come see me during tutoring. My tutoring is on Thursday from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and it's my regular Zoom link. They don't need anything special. They don't have to sign up. They just literally show up Thursday morning. They click the Zoom link, and I'll be there from 8:30 to 9 o'clock to answer any questions, practice problems they might have. Unfortunately, last week I didn't have anyone. I had 0 kids show up. The previous week I had 2 ladies show up. They might be on here tonight. They know who they are. But both those students, one has a 99%, the other has 100. So those are the last 2 kids I need in my study hall. So if your kid is struggling, though, or child is struggling, I'd be happy to meet. There's also other math teachers that do tutoring. So if Thursday morning just doesn't work, maybe mornings don't work for the kids. If you go to the Crestdale homepage, there's a tutoring link, and other math teachers have posted their times. They can meet with any math teacher at the school and get the help that they need. So they don't have to just see me. This section of the module would be just like definitions and things. This would be a cool page to print out. Maybe just like instead of having them write each and every definition, because we do move through a lot of material. But this is basically a summarization of the terms that they would cover through that module. They would keep on moving through. And this piece I wanted to show you is where I need them getting to. Here's a little quiz at the end. They would take this quiz. And this is a practice of like their assessment questions. So some kids have been struggling with this because they haven't seen them before. They're not getting far enough in the module. They're not completing them with me, or they're not getting on camera, or they're on camera and they're not doing the activities with me. So they would submit their quiz, see how they did. And again, this is not graded on accuracy, this piece. So they would move to the next section. And then I've asked the kids daily, every time they do a module, they need to see this. So once they've hit here, that means they're getting credit. For my overachievers, the kids that need to study, there are more sections there. And there's all kinds of cool, this is a lesson synthesis. It's like a breakdown of, there's video sessions, there's all kinds of practices they can do. So these are additional tools that if your kids are struggling, this is probably something they definitely want to do outside of class. They only have to get the mission accomplished inside for full credit. This is basically their studying and additional tools that they have accessible to them, which a lot of kids aren't using. This practice quiz at the very, very end of each module is awesome because it looks literally almost identical to the test questions they're going to see and quiz questions they're going to see. So if they clicked on this, these would be the type of questions that they're going to literally see on the assessment. So if they practice these, again, this is not graded. This is just for practice. They can ask me questions during tutoring. They can send me emails about specific questions. But these are really, really good pre-assessment tools. But again, they don't have to do these at the very end because they're not graded. Once they hit mission accomplished, they're good. To talk about some of the kids' apps, because I know some of the kids have been struggling as far as grades. They're wondering where I'm putting the grades and how I'm getting them. I only really give 3 components to my class. So they have the edge elastics. So they're little practice problems that they come in and they do every morning. So they'll have 4 of these. This is just an example. This is what it'll look like on Monday. So they would find the surface area. These are graded on accuracy. So their edge elastics are actually graded on accuracy. I don't just give them credit for trying. I'm only giving them 4 problems a day, and I provide them 10 minutes at the beginning of class to work through these. They're review problems from the previous lesson. So on Friday, September 11th, we started talking about the surface area of rectangular prisms. They don't have to submit these until Friday. I've asked them to have an adult, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, grandma, grandpa, high school kids, tutors, to have them look over these questions before they submit them. That'll really help their grade to go up because these are worth 20 points. The modules that they work through, these are not graded on accuracy. It's the kids are participating, they're moving through, they're communicating with each other and responding and practicing the quizzes. If they're getting to the mission accomplished piece and they're completing all of that, they're getting a full 10 points. But the reason I'm giving them 10 points is because there's inaccuracies. I'm not grading on accuracy. That's just the practice. This shows me this is kind of like their demonstration of mastery, but it's not a formal assessment. It's not a quiz. It's like their homework in class. So that would be more correlated to like the worksheets and stuff they've gotten in the past. There's only 4 of these. I only give them 10 minutes, which is only 2.5 minutes per problem, but they don't have to submit these until Friday. A lot of the kids will complete the modules and then they'll finish these up. A lot of kids have told me that they're doing them during lunch. They do them before school. So there's plenty of ways that they can get these done. For my 504 and EC kids, if they ever need additional time, especially if it's on their accommodations, simply email me and I can allow them to take till like Monday of the following week or Tuesday. I don't want to give them like an extra week or anything, but if they have an additional 30 minutes, I'd be happy to extend that past Friday, obviously. So just reach out and ask me. I've been trying to communicate best I could to the kids and let them know and keep them aware of that. But pretty simple. So this would be the second component. And then obviously the third is their testing and their quizzes. And the quizzes are directly correlated to these problems from the edge elastics. They come from the same exact program. So they should be very, very familiar. And it'll be anywhere from like 3 to 5 questions at the end of the week for a quiz grade. Usually it's about 30 points. So if it's a 3-question test, each would be worth 10. If it was a 5-question quiz, then they would be worth 5 and so on. So it's just that basically shows me what did they really understand and comprehend from the lessons, and that is graded on accuracy. So they have basically their quizzes, they have their edge elastics, which is like their homework. They have their modules, which is their participation in teaching. So that kind of shows me that they're paying attention, they're attempting stuff, they're communicating. And then obviously mid-unit and end-of-unit tests. And those are obviously graded. But other than that, it's pretty simple. I've been trying my best to communicate to the kids and help them out with videos, answering questions at the beginning and the end of class. A lot of kids will stay after everybody leaves to ask me questions. They're doing a good job of that. If your child's shy, they can always reach out by email. I can set up like an individual Zoom or try to help. I do have 3 kids of my own. I have a 3rd grader, a 1st grader, and a 7th grader, so life is extremely busy right now, especially after school. So I can't meet directly following school, but I can usually in the morning. So usually if they would reach out a couple days ahead and say, hey, can you meet me on a Friday morning? If I didn't have a meeting or any type of thing to help my kids with, I'll set up some type of extended time in the morning and try to assist them as far as that. If they can't meet with me, they can always go onto that homepage and they can look for an additional tutors link. And they can just meet with another math teacher. We have some awesome teachers on team, Miss LaSanta, Miss Archer. We have all kinds of teachers. We have 7th and 8th grade teachers. I'm kind of new, so I'm running out of names here, but there's 7th and 8th grade teachers that have tutoring links, and they can help them as well. So please make sure you guys reach out to me if you have any questions. If you could go to that homepage and click on that Google link. It was an awesome time with you. I know I ran over a little bit, guys, but I wanted to make sure I was trying to clarify everything as much as possible. Thank you, and have a good night. Thanks for everything.